Whether you're a die-hard fan or just looking for a good laugh, this monthly series promises to deliver the unexpected with a dash of humor. Tune in as Lance and BT dissect the what the fuck moments that make MMA and pro wrestling the exciting spectacles they are. It's time to let loose and embrace the madness with the WTF News Desk, where Lance and BT bring you the 10 strangest and most fun topics each month, leaving you entertained, amused, and eagerly awaiting the next episode.
Oh, yeah, we're live from 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is an STSpod.club production. We are live on a Friday morning. Can you believe it? Lance, can you believe it? It's set tomorrow.
Rolling the sleepers out of my eyes here.
Tomorrow is Saturday the 14th.
Yep.
Oh, you know what they say about that day, right?
Nothing. They don't say
you turn into pumpkins or something like that. I don't know what it is.
That's Friday the 13th today.
I'm confused.
So don't be walking under no ladders and no black cats. No dudes.
I don't like black cats anyway. This is episode 896. That's right. You already right. Episode 165, a Cool Kids Countdown. Well, I'm BT, and that's Lance over there. I just want everybody to know he's been posting almost daily about the Costco folks. You know why? Because he's disappointed in AEW. And he thought the New Day angle was distasteful. That's Lance over there. He's from Chicago, home of the Chicago Wolves. Five-time American League hockey champions. They're at Texas Stars in Cedar Park, in Texas at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Or is it Saturday night? Hell, I don't know.
Tomorrow night, yeah.
All right. And he's a snark of excellence, my partner in crime, your friend and mine, well, most of the time. He is Lance Levine, and together we are the tastiest treats in podcasts.
It's not snacks? I thought it was snacks.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. All right, well, we are here in the Club Sweet Hawaiian Crackers studios today. That's how you like your winter, right? Sweet Hawaiian. Isn't that pretty much the life? The Sweet Hawaiian. So anyway, it has been a phenomenal fall into winter as far as the snacks and treats discovery. So just been a phenomenal. So Club Hawaiian Crackers. That is another good one. You guys got to look
right on.
From the good people at Clubs in Keebler.
Them little elves, midgets. I call them midgets.
All
right, let's talk. Business real quick, as we always do. A big thank you. Rolling into Memphis episode 193 set a record for the most plays of any episode in our 7-year history.
Wow!
In a 48-hour span. Thank you, Memphis wrestling fans. We appreciate that. We did our second best overall numbers of all time for 1 month.
Wow.
Second. We're closing in on last year's record, and I said we'd never hit last year's record, but we're closing in. We also had our first ever 1 million views ever on Memphis Wrestling YouTube.
Excellent.
Video of the top 10 videos on Memphis Wrestling YouTube. We hold 9 spots, Lance.
Nice.
9 spots. Woo!
It must be Dustin's hair. It's got to be Dustin's hair.
Well, it is a match with Priestley against Thunder Rosa is number 2. Everything else is us. Top 3 episodes from last month, and remember, it was light. So we had a Cassette Wrestling News with Eddie Gilbert. I had put that in a group, in a Memphis history group, and it blew up.
Mm-hmm.
WTF News Desk number 2, that was episode 889. That Eddie Gilbert's 580. And the number 1 episode 2 months in a row, dude, is 5-minute time limit.
Nice.
So, and it's a #1 episode, the 3rd version, already this month. I'm not going to spoil it, but, I am a spoiler, but might as well do that. And before you get started on what we're doing, real quick, tonight's live stream, and we forget to mention this sometimes, brought to you by Bear Meals, which is up there, and also brought to you by spunkalube.com and Vitality Chiropractic in Jonesboro and Newport, Arkansas. We thank you.
Now, I'm confused on that Bear Meals. You got to be naked to eat?
No,
Bear?
it is. It's a what
different?
you call it? It's a meal replacement or meal placement thing where they don't use any chemicals or anything like that.
Oh, that's right, Bear.
Yeah, and I've sent you pictures of some of those meals. They're just fantastic. Good stuff.
And then they use Bear in the meals, right?
No,
I'm just confused by the whole.
You're just confused. Oh, yeah, get with what the hell are we doing?
All right, it is the WTF News Desk where we examine all of the bizarre and wacky and wild stories of the previous month in MMA and pro wrestling. They never let us down. We always have 10. We always have extras that we can't fit in. So we start at number 10. It's always the traditional stipulation match. Once in a while, we go to Japan. This time we're going to Japan. It's
really?
Yeah, we're going to Japan.
Weird.
So get your passport. It is DDT's Somida Dramatic Dream Card. It was November 4th. It was at the Higashin Arena in Tokyo. It was a sellout, dude. 2,200 people for this.
Damn.
So, I know. 2,200 people for this match. It was a tag match. It was
AEW doesn't even draw that. Jesus.
and so it begins. Okay. So it's a tag match. It's Oshinari-kun. And I don't know, that might be racist.
That could be racist there.
And his partner Higapion. And they beat they beat
Higapion used to live down there by my mama's house.
Higapion, yeah. And they beat Tucci-kun. Now that sounds dirty. I don't know what Tucci-kun is, but that just sounds
I got
dirty.
some Tucci-kun the other night.
Tucci-kun. So that sounds dirty and racist. So anyway, they beat the team of Tucci-kun and Pokotan. And these were all 4 of them were mascots. So it's 2 mascots versus 2 other mascots.
Hey, if you're watching the video, I'm going to pop it up while he talks about the mascots. The video picture right there on the screen.
That is, I believe that's Higapion in the background. That's the bunny rabbit. So it's 3 of these characters were debuting. Of course, as you know, Pokotan is a veteran. So he was the ring general in this match. He held the whole match together. So Higapion is a bank mascot of all things. I don't know what the fuck a rabbit is a bank mascot, but whatever. So it turns out Tucci-kun did not like his partner's violence. So he turned babyface in the match. So it ended up being 3 of the mascots against 1, against poor Pokotan, the lone heel. They knocked off Pokotan's head during the match.
Man.
So Oshinari-kun pinned Pokotan. And the match was over at that point. But the good news is I got good news. There's a happy. They all made up after the match. So all the mascots, they all went babyface at the end and they all made up. So there they are. There's Pokotan. I think he's getting his head kicked off right there. So
awesome. Thank you, Lance. Thanks for finding that picture too. That's hilarious.
Some fun stuff.
All right.
Always at number 10.
I don't know what to say. And the funny thing is you never send me details. It's all shoot when it comes to this, guys.
Yep.
And I get a big kick out of it every month. All right, number 9.
I believe I call it in the ring. Is that what it's called? You
That's what it is. It's called Call It in the Ring, kid.
Gotcha.
I'm going to call it in the ring, kid.
All right, so at number 9, we have the death of King Ugly. So usually we don't cover deaths here unless they're weird. Like, the guy from NXS, Paul Lynn. These are some weird deaths in the past. Go Google them, find out what I'm talking about. So we'll make an exception here for the demise of poor Ray Feo or King Ugly. So now, when you were in the ring, were you not El Hijo del Rey Feo?
No, that's Scorpio Jr.
That's somebody else. Okay, so Scorpio Jr. is the one who passed away. He was 58, I believe. He was part of the tag team of Los Guapos. And it was named as a joke because they were ugly guys. And so they were calling themselves Los Guapos, the handsome guys, dyed their hair blonde. Another weird aspect of this is after 9/11, they became Los Talibans as a comedy act. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of comedy act is the Talibans? I mean, like, that's like poor taste, if you ask me, poor taste. So anyway, so his father was Ray Feo, King Ugly. He was known, his gimmick was he was the ugliest wrestler in the world. So I know there's a few ugly podcasters out there, don't you, BT? I'm pretty sure there's more than a few ugly podcasters out there. We won't name any names this time. But I would like to say we have a Diaz Bell salute for King Ugly Jr.
All right. Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't even have it ready. Here we go. No, I'm going to save the bell salute for someone else later on in here. I just want you to know. And I thought this, as I was reading the Observer, I was just reading it and thinking, that's funny. And then I went to that and I was like, what? I kept, what the hell is he saying?
Talibanes.
Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Not yet.
No, I'm sorry.
All right, we're up to number 8. So it's Hulk versus Netflix. So on the verge of the big WWE deal with Raw, Netflix is in a war of words with Hulk Hogan. So, we've covered this before. Has stopped production on the Hulk Hogan bio.
Hulk's going for you'll have to look, but man, he may get what the fuckinator this year.
He might. He's been mentioned quite a bit. So, they stopped production of the movie. It was supposed to star Chris Helmsworth, whatever his name is. Mainly because
whatever his name is, Jesus.
Whatever, Chris Hemsworth, Thor, whatever, or the other guy.
He's hot.
Hemsworth. He's hot. Wait, you haven't played that yet. It's coming up. I got one coming up for you. So anyway, I think that they dropped it because Hulk is a fucking embarrassment. But anyway, so Hulk is now claiming that Netflix missed a payment to him. So then they pulled the plug. I'm like, what kind of fucking logic is that? What kind of business sense does that make? So because what? Netflix is cash strapped, so they can't make a payment to you, Hulk. So I guess, he also didn't like the way he was being portrayed. And I'm like, portrayed? Like, were they going to portray you as a racist sex tape guy or something? That's why you didn't like it. So, but he also said that Chris Hemsworth would have won an Oscar for his portrayal of Hulk Hogan. So Hulk versus Netflix, a weird relationship at number 8.
And just, hey, I need to get a sound drop, but I really do. I call bullshit, okay? That's what I would say when we need one that just says bullshit.
Not a Buff Bagwell? Don't you have a Buff Bagwell that says it?
I have a shit with a
shit. There we go. Yeah, there you go, Hulk. Buff shit. Yes, exactly. That's what we're accusing you of. Bull.
There we go.
Bull.
Is it still I don't even hear
No, it's not playing. You set me up for that and then no buff. So, all right, should we move on to number 7?
No, you know what we got to do?
That's right. Let me get
time for the incident report. When we get back, Lance is going to tell y'all what we seen on the screen. And if you're watching video right here, 10 o'clock on Friday morning.
It's early, man.
We're putting it right here on Facebook. Here we go.
No.
No,
I refuse to believe it. You were doing so well.
All right, so let me talk. It was 16 days, only 16 days. This bit is finally ended with shit. This bit is ended with shit. I shit my pants after 302 days. Oh, my God. So I want everybody to know why I did this, and you're wondering why. Here's why. We talked about shitting our pants, and Lance says he's never shit his pants. No one believes you, Lance.
No,
every time I text Lance to say I was going somewhere, Lance was like, don't shit your pants. Like, I went somewhere and meant I was shitting my pants. I think you sometimes thought that I would just be walking through the house and just shit my pants.
Yep.
And you always said, well, you're at home. You don't think you can't shit your pants at home?
Absolutely not. It's a 10-foot
it happened at the house halfway through the desk right here. in the bathroom in there.
Oh, boy.
It's over. This bit's over. But you got to say, once a year, shitting your pants, still, that's not bad,
For
man.
you, that's a good one. Yeah, for you,
That's
a good
pretty
record.
good. That's
yeah.
pretty good. All right, I'll let you do number 7.
All right, number 7. So now we need a 5-bell salute because Marco Stunt has retired. So sadly,
hold on.
Right,
So I'm go ahead and do it. Let me go ahead and do it. All right, when you get done with the story, before the story, I want to tease a Patreon story. I got a Marco Stunt story, local story, that I'm going to do on Patreon. Go ahead.
5-bell salute because he's only about this tall.
Yeah.
So sadly, Noah Nelms, I know you like to shoot names. He announces at age of 28, he is stepping away from the wrestling ring for health-related reasons. Doctors have advised Marco Stunt that his 97-pound body can no longer take the pounding of being in the ring. Of course, you know, he was part of the Jurassic Express with JP and Luchasaurus. It was always a silly act. For me,
what did I always tell you, Lance? It had a very small shelf life. No pun intended. But I really did think it was fun when and he was fun when I first saw him at GCW. I thought it was a very short shelf life, and then they should have, he stayed way too long.
Yeah.
You know, big thumbs up to him for collecting good money that he'd never seen before. But it's the same thing. They signed everybody and their fucking mama right there to get started, and still doing that.
Yeah.
Joy Janela, you name it, blah blah blah. But it lasted too long, way too long.
So to me, I was the opposite. No credibility. Just always rubbed me the wrong way. He loved the business. I'll give him that.
Well, you don't like comedy. You're not a comedy person.
I'm not a big comedy guy. Unless it's funny, then I like it. The Rock. I like The Rock. So he says he would be risking paralysis if he continued in the ring. And now he has a family. He has a daughter, which rumor has it the daughter is already bigger than he is. And he announces in his retirement speech, I'm a small person. No, not yet. It's not time yet. Stop with the November rain. No,
my bad. I'm sorry.
Not time for Guns N' Roses. Stop. Hold on. So he said, I am a small person in his retirement speech with an exclamation point.
Allegedly Guns N' Roses.
And I replied, no shit, Noah. So 5-bell salute for the retirement, the death of the career of Marco Stunt at number 7.
Oh man, part of me, I'm always about someone making some money, and I'm excited. He's a local guy. You can say Memphis. It's South. I think it's South Haven, Mississippi, very close to Memphis. So big thumbs up for that. But man, he got way out. He got more out of that than anyone else could have. I hate that he's hurt. I really do.
Yeah.
But like I said, I got a fun Patreon story. So all right.
He's from the South, and now he's got all kinds of time on his hands. So we should get him on the show and ask him if he's ever shit his pants. Because
I know the answer to that. I know
the theory is he did. Yeah, because he's from the South, so it works out.
Yeah.
So all right, at number 6, Trish thinks I'm made of money. Thank you, Trish, but no, thank you, Trish. So on November 29th,
she is hot.
She is hot. Yes, she is. I'll admit that I did record that one. So on November 29th, Canada's very own Trish Stratus announces that finally a 2025 calendar is coming out of Trish Stratus. So I'm seeing this. I'm like, cool. I'm in. I got to have this calendar. Trish is hot. You look up MILF in the
you're
dictionary.
A calendar person, right? You're a calendar
I do.
person.
I love calendars. That's a weird obsession of mine. I have a Route 66 calendar. I have a
She
Simpsons
is hot.
Two different Simpsons calendars for this coming year that I already have. So, yeah, I'm a calendar weirdo. So, anyway, you look up MILF in Webster's, and there's a picture of Trish. So, I'm thinking, I got to have this calendar. I'm thinking, all right, 15, 20 bucks, I'm in.
Pornhub.
Count me in. So, the Trish calendar retails for $50. I'm like, Trish, you done lost your mind, as some people would say. So, it is autographed.
Don't ever do that again.
It is autographed. Allegedly, it's autographed. So apparently, it comes autographed. So I'm going to pass up on the easy joke and say, for $50, Trish, you need to come and wash my car. Is what you need to do. So maybe it's a mistake. Maybe it's the Canadian exchange rate or something. I don't know what's going on. I am not cheap. I love me some Trish, but come on, that's ridiculous. So the Poors are going to be so disappointed they can't get the Trish calendar. So I end this one with no thank you, Trish, at number 6.
I agree 100%. There's no way I'd pay that much. You know, I'm cheap anyway, so there's no way unless you know, I have all kinds of jokes about that, but like you said, it's too easy. What I'm thinking is she was buck naked.
Yeah,
you know, I might get 50 buck naked.
$50.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, you know, buck naked, sprawled out, you name it. You know, if you could pick your poses, here's what I want you to do, Trish.
Yeah.
I want you to bend over and spread. Oh, wait. I mean, sorry about that, the wife, but if it's Trish, she's fucking hot. So there we go.
There was a Zack Sabre Jr. calendar for $50, you'd be in on that. I know that.
I'm tired of looking at his penis in every match. Jesus Christ. He should be tag champs. Him and his penis. All right, folks, we are at the commercial break. If we go all the way for over an hour, you don't get to hear the whole show. Mm-hmm. We're going to do a commercial break, come right back, and we're going to do halftime.
Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live. Saturday, December 28th, watch AEW World's End at Dave & Buster's in Memphis. It's free to watch. Sunday, January 5th, don't miss our first TV taping of 2025. Sunday, January 26th, join us and celebrate our 4-year anniversary. Don't miss Super Bout 4 at the Wrestle Center. Saturday, February 1st, watch WWE Royal Rumble with us at Dave & Buster's. It's free to watch. Then Saturday, February 8th, Memphis Wrestling returns to Strayhorn High School for a big event benefiting the Strayhorn Band Boosters. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Oh, man. Sorry. Wrong one. All right.
Yeah.
We're ready for halftime. Before halftime, real quick, shout out to my buddies Josh, Richard, and Gene. Check out USWA Retro Podcast where they're watching 1993, which I've never seen, believe it or not. Fun show. And I'm officially, I know it's going to make you mad, Lance, because I'm working for another podcast.
Oh, boy.
I'm the official pinch hitter when someone's missing. Well, Josh and Richard's always missing, but you know what I mean. All right, shout out to those guys. Y'all check it out. All you got to do is go to a podcast catcher, do USWA Retro.
I always knew you were a pinch hitter.
Oh, yeah, I figured you knew that. I was on the episode this past Tuesday. Fun stuff. Those guys are all really funny, and, you know, well, they're not as funny as me, but they are funny. So it is time for... All right, halftime. Before we do this, real quick, I want to explain it. Lance has no idea what we're doing tonight.
This is calling it in the ring. You're calling it in the ring.
I'm going to have some fun time with this. So before we do it, I want to shout out to the podcast I listen to, Tell 'em Steve Dave. It's a podcast, and I give all the credit to them. It features Impractical Jokers, Brian Quinn, and from Comic Book Men, Walt Flanagan and Brian Johnson. And one of their they're always the 3 regulars, and then they have all kinds of other people sprinkled in there. The guy that came in his name is Brian Rupert, and he is a school teacher, and he surveyed his students on this. So that's where we're getting. And Lance, we always have this meeting in December to try to improve our numbers somehow. Mm-hmm. And I want some new stuff. And the main thing I'm thinking about, man, we got to draw the kids. So when I heard this was – and the reason I'm saying that, you know, our audience is 35 to 50. It's the old people like us. Mm-hmm. But the kids are who spends the money, right?
Yep.
So we want to get some young people in there, and that's what they want to. And so I'm going to tell you some cool things. They were surveyed, high school students surveyed. This is legit. They said what was cool and what wasn't cool. And the reason I really want to go over this is one episode you said Kevin Nash is weird. And so that tells me that you don't know what cool is. So this will help you, okay?
All right,
so here's the cool things. You're going to love this.
All right.
The first thing that was cool to them, and now what we're going to do is we're going to try to integrate some of this. We're going to either talk about it or whatever, so that we can do the young audience. Number one cool thing, rap music.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we'll stick with Guns N' Roses on that one, I think.
All right. Number two, we could talk about other sports, football, basketball, soccer, and boxing.
All right. I can do football. I can maybe do basketball. Soccer, I don't know. I maybe know that Messi guy. That Messi guy is on the bag of Frito-Lay's chips, so I know him. And what was the other one? Oh, boxing.
I want to help
Mike Tyson just had a big match, so there's that.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. So we're not supposed to. I'll tell you about that later as we go. So cool clothes.
Oh,
cool clothes is sweatpants, hoodies, and graphic tees.
All right, graphic.
You got the graphic tee. You got to get hoodies and sweatpants.
Yeah. I have a New Japan hoodie. And I have the record store hoodie.
There we go, graphic tee. Marvel movies. We both like comic books. Marvel movies are cool. Fast food places. The fast food places that are cool is, and I thought this was kind of funny, Popeyes and KFC, both chicken places. They're cool.
Popeyes is, I'm not going to say considerably better, but it's better than KFC.
I like both of them. Most underrated fast food. Me and you really think Sonic is real good, and a lot of people shit on Sonic. Here's a couple other things. Final two things that are cool. We got to put them in here somehow. So I think I wear a KFC shirt, or I could be eating chicken or something. Anime. We got to get into anime, man.
I mean, I'm into the Simpsons. I just got.
That's not anime. Lance said it's not anime.
So it's close.
So he definitely don't know even what it is. So this was on the list, and I know you will not believe me when I say this. The Costco boys are on the cool list.
There's no way you're making that.
Yeah, it was. I'm not making it up. So let's go to the not cool. So we got to make sure we don't mention any of this stuff. So the Paul brothers.
So this is not cool.
They hated the Paul brothers. They hated the Paul.
All right. Well, they're heels, so that makes sense.
That's right. You can't. Blue jeans. They're not cool. Blue jeans are not cool at all. I don't want to see you wearing blue jeans, especially in any photographs taken.
Wow. Okay.
They said podcasts are really not cool. Podcasts.
Oops.
But they listen to clips. So we got to do more clips.
Right.
We got
more clips. All right. Shorter. Keep it short.
They said wearing your cap backwards is not cool.
Did not say that.
No, they did say that. They did say that. They said Arby's is not cool.
Come on. What does Arby's do to anybody? They did drop the potato cakes, so I will say that.
And the final thing that they said is not cool, and man, I hate to tell you this, but they said spot haircut is not cool. Not cool. Not anyone does that haircut. So there you go. That was halftime. We're going to try to get you young kiddos in here.
Get the kiddos. Make it safe for the kiddos.
Got to see the meeting. This was official meeting here.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Lance. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. You know where 5 takes us? It takes us to smut. And if we're for the kiddos, we have to explain that smut is not social. It's not smut. It's not pornography. It's social media uproar time, where we investigate all of the arguments and the battles and stuff that happen on social media. So this time we've got Dave versus Dutch, Dave versus Disco. We got Brian Alvarez loses it, Jim Valley versus Bully Ray, and Mercedes is the best. Mercedes #1. So it's a busy month for Meltzer. We'll get to the typos in the honorables, but in the Patreon. So Meltzer has a busy month. He reports on health issues of Dutch Mantel. I know you're friends with Dutch Mantel. He and his wife are battling sepsis. They're both hospitalized. They both need funds to cover their medical expenses. Dave mentions that Tony Khan donated $5,000 to their medical fund, despite the fact that Dutch ripped on AEW in the past. So Dutch gets pissed by that comment. He fires back and says that knocking his family is a no-no, Dave. And he wants to slap the dog shit out of Dave. So
the dog shit out of him.
The dog shit, because now you shit your pants, but apparently Dave and dog shit is something. There's some relationship there. So we at WTF, we send our best to Dutch and his family. Of course, we want to say that. I remember at Starcast you having a chat with Dutch at the first Starcast.
I'm. You talk about being disappointed. This goes back to, and we've talked about it already before about Dave. He seems to want to, put something about AEW in every fucking thing that he does. And you got two people that really almost died. Now, I haven't talked to Dutch except I've emailed him a couple of times just to see how he was doing, but also, he was on the podcast. I consider him kind of a mentor for me because he taught me a lot of stuff about professional wrestling. I thought this was bullshit. I would hold Dave Meltzer if I could, hold him while he knocked the horse shit out of or dog shit out of him. And here's the part that really bothers me is that he didn't apologize or anything. This is about something he should have never included. Oh yeah, he talked bad about it. What does it matter if he talked? Tony Khan didn't give a shit that he talked bad about him because he still gave him money and helped him. It's like me if I got some kind of Dave. I believe if he ordered a pizza and he talked about a pizza that he ordered, he would talk about AEW probably made a pizza better. I'm close to my subscription's up in February, and I'm very close to saying Dave Meltzer.
All right,
believe it or not, and I've been a long-time subscriber. So
once again, AEW posts get Disco Inferno Glenn Gilberti get him going. So anyway, so Dave, let's see on this one, Gilberti at Lucky13014 tweets, "Would you consider Disco an irrational person, Dave?" And Meltzer replies, "No, just someone who goes on Twitter and says really stupid things looking for a reaction." And of course, then that keeps the fires going between Disco and Dave. So that keeps going on. So that's another little battle.
You got to remember here, okay? Let's remember something really quick. Disco's a fucking worker, all right? You start something with him, he's going to keep doing it. So.
Yep. So now I think this is my favorite smut for the month. It's Brian Alvarez increasingly losing his mind from AEW and the booking of Mortos, the Beast Mortos, and Dave.
He's a lawyer, right?
Frank. So calmly, Dave on their show, on their podcast or whatever, Dave calmly. Not the time. I'm trying to talk about Beast Mortos here. Now you're going to make me snap and lose my mind like Brian Alvarez. So Dave is calmly trying to explain how this weird shit makes sense. So they call Mortos Frank. He's a lawyer. He's a junior member of the LFI. So Alvarez just snaps on the clip. It's hysterical, I think. And so AEW booking is getting harder and harder to make any kind of sense out of.
I had the clip, but it
tries to do it.
I couldn't get the clip to work. It was there and then it was gone, blah, blah, blah. The deal is, and this is what bothered me about this, it was hilarious to hear Alvarez. They're going to eventually get a divorce, by the way. He's not going to be able to put up with Dave. Is that Dave never used to do this, especially back in the day. He never put in the Observer who he was talking to, but he talks like we all talk to Tony Khan. Yeah. We all talk to him. We all listen to the bookie meeting because Dave knows what the storylines are because he's talking to Tony. He's texting him, he said. He's texting Tony.
And Alvarez is like, how do you know this? Dave's like saying, well, yeah, he's a lawyer. And he's Frank. Very calmly presenting it like it's common knowledge, And Alvarez is right. It's also weird and bizarre, and anything is barely touched upon. So anyway, then we got Jim Valley versus Bully Ray. Valley tweets on November 11th about insufferable old guys hanging on for their ego. And he says, Bully Ray is about Bully Ray. Bully decides to reply on Twitter, "Dear Jim, you could not be more wrong. Fuck you, love and kisses, Bully." And then Jim replies that he would gladly apologize if he was building young talent. And if he did build young talent, he'll apologize. And Bully's final remark is, bootlicking trash. You and your ilk are the problem. In fact, the problem, because it was all in caps, with the wrestling media these days. So Bully Ray and Jim Valley getting
I
at it.
gotta agree with Bully Ray on this one. Jim Valley just keep his fucking mouth shut. He don't know. Jim Valley thinks he knows everything about the business. I've been pissed at Jim Valley since I seen some of his posts where he said, "Well, I didn't watch the show last night, but I know WWE show was bad." That he has a habit of doing. He just said the Bully Ray thing and the ECW thing was done perfectly on NXT. It's been done in TNA perfectly a couple of times too. But the crowd got into it, and what Bully Ray was doing was what he was told to do. But Shawn Michaels, I like it. I'm a huge, you know this. I love Bully Ray. I think he needs a place somewhere in the wrestling business. And Jim Valley's just, what is Jim Valley? Look, what has fucking Jim Valley ever done in the wrestling business? What I want to know. That motherfucker's never laced up any boots. He's never been on the road. Wait. He's never been on the road for 5 fucking years, bumping, and can barely walk to take a shit like somebody I know.
Oh, here we go.
You ain't been in the ring. You know what the fuck you're talking about. And that's Jim Valley right there. That's Jim Valley.
All right, let us, before you bust a blood vessel here, we're going to wrap up Smut.
Wait.
Camel is a big, fat, unathletic looking slob.
I thought you were a fat piece of shit. No?
I'm a little bit of everything.
That's another clip. So, all right, finally, we got formerly known as... Man, was that Gunboat? What was that?
All right, fine. I'll shut up.
Formerly known as Sasha Banks announced, "I am not the greatest women's wrestler. I'm the greatest wrestler. When you think of Cena, Rock, or Omega, I won't stop until people are thinking of Mercedes Moné in the same light." So is that a shoot or is that her character? I mean, because it comes across, it could be either on that. It could be a little bit of both. So
I'm going to answer that question when you get done here.
So we got a couple comments from the minions on Twitter. So at fucking off, yeah, that's right. At fucking off says, "All right, Tony Khan, that's enough. Stop sharing your cokes with her." I'm like, like beverages? Like she's all talking all
not beverages. Nope.
Cokes plural. So I don't know about that. Yeah. And then here's another good one. We got at GT Money 22. His comment is period. "She better eat a hamburger, put on a few pounds and muscle, eat certain foods to naturally get bigger boobs, because no one is going to take seriously a wannabe stripper under 100 pounds as the greatest wrestler of all time." Well, that took a turn. I don't know where any of that shit.
I mean, hey, we both agree with that kind of.
So got bigger boobs. I don't know that that's going to necessarily make her a better wrestler.
It might work. Yeah.
So that is it for Smut this month. I know you said you have another follow-up.
It's a work. I believe it's a work. That's her personality. She goes off on people during those little things that they do and the scrums that they do, and she tries to get heat that way. She comes off so cringy. Even when she's working, she comes off cringy. I want you to go back and I want you to watch her in the WWE. All right? That's what she's capable of doing. Yeah. That's all they should have used her for when she came over here. She's nothing. She didn't change anything. She, including Okada, one of those guys, people that to me, total bust in Mercedes.
Disappointing.
Total disappointment. You're disappointed in Tony.
I'm Okada, disappointed in Okada. So, all right, number 4, Kevin Nash, possible incident upcoming. So, on a recent episode of his Click This podcast on November 10th, Big Daddy Cool Oz reveals that a recent shoulder injury, to which I ask from what was he doing, means that, quote, "I can't even sit on a fucking toilet. I'm in so much pain. When I wipe my ass, I scream." So I think that might be a Pornhub fetish category right there. But I'd say we're rolling towards a pants shitting incident.
You would know.
I think we're heading towards a pants shitting incident.
I agree 100%. Strong endorsement there.
He can't wipe his ass without screaming, so he's in pain when he sits on the toilet. So I think we're heading towards it. So get the
I watched that clip. I watched clips of Nash and his partner there. Very smart guy in the wrestling business, but I don't really know what he's had problems with his shoulders and his knees. Shit.
That podcasting takes a lot out of your shoulders.
Shit.
All right, and then I have a side note on this one. We have Jason Kelsey.
Shit!
Yeah, him. Jason Kelsey of the Shark Jumping Kelsey Brothers reveals on his podcast. Now, I got this story from a couple different people. So I think it was Eric Kroll was one of them. So we'll shout out Eric.
What has it got to do with wrestling?
Because here we go. On November 12th, he said that he once shit his pants before a game. So he says, that's why I hate white pants. Lane Johnson comes up to me after warmups. He's like, hey, man, you got shit all up and down your pants right now. So I want to get Taylor Swift's reaction to this. I want to hear what she has to say. And I do want to remind everybody, WTF News Desk is your home for all pants shitting incidents, news spanning the globe, all pants shitting incidents. She's happy because he shit his pants, and it wasn't her, man. It was the other one. So we cover all the pants shitting, even if it's against the genre of pro wrestling. We're going to cover it here at number 4. Kevin Nash incident coming up. I'm predicting it.
As my mama says, Lord.
So, all right.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Number 3, Linda McMahon is now in charge of your children's education. So with the Trump re-election, you knew it was inevitable that the charisma vacuum Linda McMahon was going to be, she was going to weasel her way back into the cabinet, back into the Trump cabinet. So initial thought was, of course, that she would be the secretary.
She is hot.
She is not hot. I did not say that. You cannot pin that one on me. So everybody thought the assumption would she'd be the Secretary of Commerce, but Trump blindsides us and makes her the Secretary of Education. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? So no idea. So she's mixed up with the whole Ring Boy lawsuit, where kids were the alleged victims. She's previously claimed that she had a degree in education, but she didn't. It was a degree in French from East Carolina University, for crying out loud. I'm like, you might as well have a fucking degree from Chase U at that point. So Linda McMahon in charge of our kids at number 3.
Yeah, I have no. I mean, you knew it was going to happen. They're big buddies with Trump, so you knew she was going to get a position somewhere. I don't really want her dealing with my children's education, but I don't have any kids anyway, so I don't really give a fuck.
Grandkids, there'll be grandkids.
She ain't never been in the ring.
Yeah, she cannot call it in the ring. She is a charisma vacuum. She's not hot.
She is.
You got to get a tape of me saying she's not hot so you can play it whenever Linda gets talked about.
She's not hot.
Not hot. All right, so number 2, Conor McGregor is a scumbag. So as we have been reporting for years, we've been on the forefront of the Conor McGregor story for years. November 22nd, Dublin jury finds MMA superstar Conor McGregor liable for sexual assault in the Nikita Hand incident in 2018. So he's ordered to pay $250,000 in damages. So he claimed that the sex was consensual. Now, of course, keep in mind, he's got a longtime girlfriend who he has 4 children with. So he said, oh, yeah, well, it was consent. You're still an asshole, jerk. Even if you're saying it was consensual, there's still problems. So she says she was drugged and brutally assaulted. He loses almost all of his sponsorship deals from this, including proper number 12 whiskey. He says he will appeal it. He posted all kinds of crazy shit on social media. His track record is kind of bad, though. He assaulted a woman on his yacht in 2020. He assaulted a woman in a bathroom at the Miami Heat game in 2023. He threw that dolly through the bus window at the UFC event. And so if you add them up, 18 convictions from 2009 to 2018. So the question is, will he ever fight again? What do you think?
I don't know. Will Dana use him? That's the question.
Dana hasn't said anything yet. Dana, of course, who has the video of him slapping his wife and vice versa. I think he will fight again, but I don't know that it'll necessarily be UFC. I think that Saudi Arabia or somebody made of money is going to pay to put him in the ring again and put him on TV.
I don't know. I just don't know. Joe Rogan's talked about that, and that Conor's got plenty of money. He spends his money, has a good time, and when this, we're not telling anybody nothing. What I'm fixing to say, when you decide to fight a major fight, your whole life changes. You go into a total training mode. You usually don't get into any trouble or nothing like that. And I'm not sure he can, hang out on his yacht and smoke his cigars and drink his whiskey when he's having to train. Well, here's the deal. Here's a good question. You said, will he fight? Here's the deal. Lance, will people still pay ticket to see him fight And the answer, I'll just answer, yes, they will. So that's why I think Dana White will use him. I think UFC will use him if he decides to fight again.
I think if they use him, it's going to take some time. They're going to need to let this subside.
It didn't take Dana White much time to go from he slapped his wife to everything's good. So yeah,
all good. So all right, we're up to number 1.
Oh yay!
Oh.
I got it right this time.
I don't know who that is, but it's time. So at number 1,
I heard it was
TK is a goober. That's our number 1 story.
Woo!
Again,
Yes.
TK, almost as many mentions as Hulk this year, I think. So TK is a goober. We got Effie accusations. We got Jake Hager accusations. We got the November Rain video and we got a big announcement from TK himself. So TK used to be one of us. I can remember vividly saying on this show, TK was one of us. Now I shake my head at the whole thing. So AEW pulls the missing in action Ricky Starks from 3 December dates with GCW. So it seems that indie wrestler Effie, who we've talked about on here, Effie is with GCW. He says that TK's father pays him to stay away. So, and that pissed off TK. He pulls Ricky Starks from these shows. Effie was pissed too because AEW booked Hammerstein Ballroom, as Chris Jericho called it, the Hammerstein Ballroom in December. GCW is there in January. That hurt their ticket sales. And then Effie also said that they have no buzz. And all of this just makes TK look bad because the pulling of Ricky Starks because of all these comments from Effie. Now there's speculation it could be an angle. They could be working together, but we shall see. So that's still to be determined. So that's our first episode of TK in November. Next up, we have Jake Hager. I still got to say, I love that hat. Jake Hager calls TK a communist in November. He says that since Jake Hager says that since he is pro-Trump, TK threatened to fire him for it, and that made him a communist. So anyway, so this group that Hager was going to work for ironically called Blitzkrieg Pro Wrestling. They dropped, I know, ironic name. They dropped Hager from a 12-14 show over this. So Hager was also anti-vax during the pandemic. So I may have to side with TK on this one. I'm not sure. And I don't think he's a communist.
With me, Hager can say what he wants to, and he can say what he wants to kind of thing. I mean, it's not, and vote for who he wants to. Yeah. It doesn't bother me. I've never seen the only time Hager had any kind of that I thought was a good act was with Dutch. Other than that, I don't think he never did anything for me. So.
I will say I love that hat. I don't love that hat that you're wearing, but I love that.
You love it. Don't let him.
Then we have TK paying Guns N' Roses for the rights to November Rain as the backdrop for the video to promote Full Gear, the Full Gear PLE. So I'm an AEW viewer. You give me shit for it all the time. It felt like they were telling people about the Guns N' Roses thing that video was a bigger deal than any of the fucking matches. The production of that video of like 7 minutes of clips with Guns N' Roses backdrop. Yeah, that song that made the focal point rather than any of the goddamn matches. So at the November 14th collision show,
stupid.
The over-caffeinated TK comes out like a kid who just got a bike on Christmas, and he tells the fans to watch the show Saturday for the debut of the big video, the Guns N' Roses video. So I'm saying, how about you do some fucking better writing and storylines and angles, my dude, rather than pay Guns N' Roses and promote that as opposed to any of the matches. So finally, the big news is TK is on the Levac and Gaz show. I think we're bigger than Levac and Gaz. That's all. No. And he's asked if he will ever wrestle. And he says no. He says, quote, "Where the best wrestle is our tagline, and I want to keep it that way." So I will say good self-awareness on that one. You're about the size of Marco Stunt, so I don't think you should be in the ring, TK. So I
agree 100%.
TK is a goober at number 1 on this month's countdown.
Guys, that was it. That was WTF News Desk for November 2024. Stay tuned for Patreon. We got a few things. I got a Marco Stunt story.
Yeah.
A famous Wrestling Observer subscriber that I found out by listening to the Kevin Nash podcast. I thought it was funny, but I don't think it was not funny. We'll get to it. Same bad time, same bad channel. Best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there, and as everyone knows, I love my mama.
And as everyone knows, I have fun everywhere I go, even though it's colder than Rosemary's Tit in Chicago this week. It is bad.